Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome back to the NOFO Live Show, where I, Sunita, along with my two co-hosts, Tracy from Miss Tracy Kessler and Kelly from NOFO Endless Summer, we hop on every Friday to chat about everything North Fork. Today is Christmas Eve, and every year I have a different type of Christmas. I know most of us look forward to a white Christmas, but this year I feel like we're definitely having a great Christmas. It's rainy, weirdly warm. The temperature fluctuation today is between 54, I think, 54 and 12. I mean, that is insane, all in the span of one day. So I don't know how to dress. I don't know if I should be starting a fire in the fireplace or if I should just, like I said, it's 54 right now. It's great, but it's raining, but because it's so warm, I guess it's not really going to turn into snow. So it's not a white Christmas, but it's a great Christmas. But being on the North Fork, it's still a great Christmas. Like I said, every year I have a different version of Christmas. And this year, it's definitely going to be quieter because one of my sons, I have three boys, came for Thanksgiving, but he's not going to be able to also come back again for Christmas. So we're going to have a quiet, simpler. My husband's family has always celebrated Christmas Eve. So we do a big dinner Christmas Eve, and the kids have always opened their presents, Christmas Eve evening, like I think a lot of European countries do. So it's great, and I'm looking forward to like a quiet dinner. Typically it's duck. My husband likes to cook a duck, and so we'll do that. And, I'm looking forward to it. So I want to hear what everybody's Christmas plan is. I don't see my co-hosts. I know that Tracy will be on, and I believe Kelly will. But our guest today is the Soundview Greenport Hotel.
Hi.
Good morning, Kara. How are you? I was just saying, I'm so excited to have you guys on today. I don't know where Tracy is, and I think poor Kelly, I think the bug, I don't know which bug, but it seems to be going through every house.
Yeah.
So it's going through her house right now, and she has a bit of a congestion, and so she won't be able to talk, but maybe she'll watch. Yes. Oh, absolutely. But I was looking outside, and it is so gray, but weirdly warm. Isn't it like a weird? Yes. Thank you for sharing the view. So
it's
beautiful.
Still really beautiful, like very serene.
So peaceful. I don't know if a few degrees cooler might have created a white Christmas. Wow. I don't know.
Sorry, we're having a little technical difficulty.
That's all right.
Live.
Live.
Oh,
well, just focus us back on the view outside. We'll just watch that.
Good morning. I'm just enjoying
Tracy,
the view that Kara's showing us.
Mishi here.
Hi.
How are you? Doing gorgeous. Hi, Mishi. So we have Kara and Mishi joining us from the Soundview Greenport, and of course that's the home of the Halyard. If you haven't been to the restaurant, I guess this is the view from there.
Are you in like the little?
We're in the lounge.
Yeah, in the lounge. Okay.
Let me take you on a mini tour quick.
Oh, yay!
Awesome. Let's do it.
The camera. Let's see. Okay, right. So welcome to the lounge.
Oh, you changed the seating, so the benches are gone. Oh, there's one.
They're here, so the seating does change because we're serving dinner service out of the lounge in the off season. Okay. And the piano bar, this is also our little lounge area, little semi-private dining. This is the entranceway, so.
Aww,
yes, if you were coming in, it would look like this.
Very pretty.
Spot my list.
So is that on the right?
Check into the hotel.
Wait, go. Yes, very important gifts to give
something
Christmas.
Cute. Go back.
Very cute gifts.
I love it.
A little shameless self-promotion.
Well, Listen, Tilly loves it because she eats
The
it
more
every
gifts.
opportunity she gets. We're talking about Kara's new book, which I don't know if you noticed in the little tour, A
East
to
and
Z.
A to Z.
What is it called, Kara?
Tilly loves it. She loves it. I'm not actually letting her touch it anymore because I don't want her to eat the whole thing.
Continental breakfast.
Beautiful.
See, now that's something I didn't know that existed. I guess because I only visit the hotel, I don't stay there. But nice to know that as a guest, there's
Library.
nibbles in the morning. That's great.
Now, is the library open in the winter?
Yes.
Okay.
So we do dinner service out of the library as well.
Okay.
This is my favorite room. It's like the captain's quarters.
Is the main big dining room closed in the off season?
Yes. In the off season, we do dining out of the piano bar, the library, and the lounge. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mishi. Correct.
That is correct.
And then just a little piano bar.
So is that where you had the live music the other night?
Yes.
Kara?
Last night.
Last night. Okay.
And karaoke. I've been there for karaoke night, so they can also.
Let's see, we're back. Get Mishi in here. Can you see us?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have our last piano karaoke with Sid Gold next Wednesday.
Okay.
And our last music of the season also in on Tuesday and Thursday in the piano bar.
Okay. So we're coming up to the end. When do things pick up again in the spring?
So spring gets busy like internally because that's when we start getting ready and start bringing on, kind of growing the ranks, if you will, for the summer season. And I would say that we start seeing the same kind of occupancy and the same kind of cover restaurant side closer to May.
Okay.
May start like kind of layering in all the other outlets, expanding menus, and then July, as you know, everyone on the North Fork knows, that's like go time.
Yes.
And then 3.5, 4 months, it's
the end of school season is always like the jump off, I feel like. But you know, it's been getting busier. Like the weekends in May and June also have been pretty busy. You never know. Like and with pandemic and everything, like I feel like it's
completely changed.
hard to navigate.
Yes. And when does the I forget the exact name of it. What's the name of the beachfront bar?
The Low Tide Bar.
The Low Tide Bar. When does that reopen?
Low Tide Bar is July, August, and like into Labor Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was
We even extended Low Tide Bar a couple weekends in September, right? We did a couple weekends in September this year because it was nice out.
Yeah. But usually like August 27th, August 30th, that's around when the Low Tide Beach Bar, starts to close. I think last year we kept it open another 2 weeks because, as Kara was saying, the weather was still gorgeous.
Yeah.
Kara, can you move the camera a little further back so you can both be in the frame? And I also just wanted to go back a little bit and just start at the beginning. So the Soundview Greenport is a hotel there, right? And people can come stay. How many rooms do you have, and is it open all year?
And it's open all year. What is great and unique is that every room is facing the water, gets that beautiful kind of sunset.
Yeah.
Hence the name.
I never understood why it was called that. Now I get it. But it's beautiful. And then, so it is open year round. And then the F&B kind of operations, the restaurant, those hours do change during the shoulder months of the off season. But there is still something available for guests most nights of the week.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And for anyone who has grown up out here and knows how astronomically amazing the renovation of what the old Soundview looked like before and what it looks like now. And it seems, what's amazing is that it seems like you've touched every single inch of the space, although I would say your favorite room and the bar are pretty much exactly the same way they were, right?
I have a lot of love for like authenticity and, you know, like keeping a lot of the original elements in the design. And I think when they redid the space, they really held the same ideas that I love as well. So they didn't renovate like the actual property, like the physical structure. It stayed exactly the same. They updated, you know, painting the floors, the furniture, right? Like they did a lot of like cosmetic updates, design,
like renovations, right?
Yeah.
So all the rooms did all get a complete overhaul.
Yeah.
But still staying very true to the rest of the spaces in the property. The rooms are gorgeous. And you know, the main building, which is where we're sitting right now, which, you know, kind of showcases the lobby, the lounge, the Halyard, the library, and the cafe area where continental breakfast gets set up. That is very true to kind of its original elements. And so, you know, while there was a lot of improvements and a lot of things structurally that needed to be kind of renovated, the aesthetics remain very true to kind of what everyone remembers, right? And that was a big thing for ownership, was to not completely change something loved by so many, you know, in this community, and really.
And you mentioned the rooms all have the sound view, but just from the mini tour you just gave us, Kara, all the dining areas, the library, I mean, and of course the sunset photos that everybody posts from there are just spectacular. So it sounds like you can stand anywhere on the entire sound view property and get a beautiful view off the sound. I mean, literally where you're sitting to the left, there it is, right?
So Meg Sweezy says she's getting married there in April, and she's very excited. And Pizza by Tano said you have the best granola they've ever had.
Thank you.
Is that a breakfast thing? Because I haven't tried the granola. Darn. Somehow, so I have stayed at the old, well, I should say old side view. I've stayed at the pre-renovated sound view. I don't think there was breakfast then. So.
But it's a great place to stay during like a blizzard or something, doing staycation.
It's cool. Like it's unlike anything you've ever seen.
Oh, I can't imagine. That must be gorgeous.
Plan.
Is there a special NOFO staycation rate for us locals?
For locals? For locals?
We can work something out.
Okay, so let's go back to what you were talking about at the beginning. This is the off season. So what do you have going on in the off season at the restaurant?
Yes, a lot of
I know you have a few things coming up.
Mishi can elaborate.
So on, I guess, the next holiday is Christmas Eve. So Christmas Eve, we're opening up the Halyard. We're going to be doing dinner service out of the Halyard, and we're going to be offering our a la carte menu, which is our kind of normal dining menu, and then in addition, a kind of curated prefix menu that's available as a sidecar. So guests coming in can decide whether they would like something off the a la carte menu or if they'd like to partake in the prefix menu that chef has put together. And as always, you know, highlighting and focusing on all the bounty of the North Fork, what's available, what is, you know, kind of what interests him at any given moment, and builds a menu around that. And then, you know, that process is always fun and interactive because we get to taste things, and you know, I like food.
Yeah.
You were also represented at the North Fork Foodie Festival. I can't remember what it was exactly called that the North Fork had. And I know, I forget the name of the chef, but he made this tomato gazpacho. It was so delicious. So delicious.
We were so happy to be.
Kara, say the name of the chef again because you got cut off.
Nathan Hitchcock.
Nathan Hitchcock. Okay. And where did you guys find him? Is he a local North Forker or?
He's been here for a while. He has worked with Stefan Bogardus, who was our previous chef for a really long time, like 6 or 7 years. He was with him at the table, the North Fork table, and then like throughout his process the whole time he was here. So he's been in the Soundview Halyard family for a while.
That's great. That's great. I haven't been there since he took over, so I have to come and spend a morning with you guys. I have to, as Kara knows, I have to come when it's kid friendly. So my time is limited.
Friendly for all regular dining.
Yes.
Yeah, we have lots of families come.
Yeah, maybe we need to do one of our dates in the lounge there, Sunita.
Yeah.
Yes. Sounds good to me. I mean, we had a web meeting there, which is the Women Entrepreneur Business Meeting. That was great. And again, I don't know what it is, but every time you show up there, there's a gorgeous sunset lined up. When I went for dinner, it was the most stunning one, I want to say, of the year. Then I went to the web meeting. I don't know if it's me and the sunset follows me, but it's been spectacular every time I go there.
As someone who is here a lot and has seen many sunsets, every single sunset is just, it's wild, right? And it's, you know, in the busiest part of the season, right? Think of like the middle of August, it's Saturday night, and it's 7 o'clock, and there are just a tremendous amount of people on property.
Everybody,
sun is setting, and then everything just slows down for a second. Everyone is, it's like even the front of house team, the back of house team, it's just that time of day where everyone takes a pause, like just observes, is in awe, and then continues with whatever they were doing.
It's like a natural, like, meditation, just stops. Like, even the guests, everyone just, like, pause and is looking out at the water. It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Something.
I mean, whenever you're looking to hire, I feel like that should be listed as a perk of working there. Just So I know you have a lot of amazing parties. I know you just brought back your Halloween bash, and do you have, I saw something for New Year's you have coming up as well.
New Year's Eve dinner as well.
New Year's Eve is going to be a little bit different in the sense that it is only going to be a prefix menu available, and then so a little bit more of a New Year's Eve formality to it.
Dress to impress.
Yes. Dress to impress. And then at, later on in the evening, we have Rob Europe, his band coming.
Oh, I love them.
He has the whole crew coming. So his keyboard player, bass, like drummer. So they're all going to be here. It's going to be really, really fun. And then he's also going to lead a countdown at midnight. And we are lucky to also have a local photographer, Madison Fender, who's going to be in the house, like shooting and getting candid. So that'll be really special, and like there'll be a lot of great pictures.
That's awesome. Unfortunately, I don't think I can miss Tilly's first New Year's Eve, so I'm not going to be able to make it this year. But we have to do it again next year.
Yeah. Well, kids are welcome to the dinner.
Maybe we'll come to the dinner. Is the menu posted yet?
Yes.
Okay.
On the Halyard website and on.
And Kara, you were mentioning that if people don't want to come for dinner, there's sort of an after party after
5 and 8, right?
In between 5 and 6, and then in between 8 and 9.
You can make reservations, and then at 10, that's like when the party starts. That's when the band will start, and then it's a no cover, 21 and plus, 21 and over. Anybody can come and like enjoy and hang, and great music.
What a perfect way to bring in the new year.
Does.
I mean, that sounds really
fun.
So what else do you have going on? I also saw something about the Uncommon Art
Residency.
Quickly
before we leave New Year, we also have a New Year's Day brunch, which is a buffet style, one price, right?
Yeah, so it's buffet. It's $75 per person, but that gives you access to obviously everything in the buffet, and then it comes with unlimited Bloody Marys and mimosas for those who are either trying to,
celebrate the new year,
the new year, or bridge the gap, or just a little bit of the hair of the dog.
Yeah, curing that hangover.
But, you know, have been inviting, you know, friends and groups of people to kind of celebrate early in the morning, which, you know, is not always something that you see as much out here, but definitely something that you see in kind of cities where, you know, restaurants will do these big brunches for your New Year's Day.
Or if you hosted New Year's Eve, you're like, I'm done and I just want to go.
My turn, yeah.
Somebody feed me.
Yeah, like you guys, you should come. You should come.
Yeah.
Tilly, that's good for Tilly.
Yeah.
Well, also you have a lounge literally that you just showed. I remember this is a few years ago. My husband and I came for an anniversary lunch. It wasn't a brunch, but it was a lunch. And we thought, you know, normally lunch you'd be there half hour, an hour, hour and a half. We just lingered, and then later we got a coffee. So I'm picturing this New Year's Day brunch in the morning where it's a slow, relaxed, eat what you want, lounge a little, right? That sounds perfect.
I mean,
do that, Tracy.
If we could like a lot of special events here at the Soundview in Halyard, you know, a lot of private lunches, dinner, corporate events. There's a lot of different spaces that can accommodate a lot of different types of people and companies. And so I'll also, before we get off, give you a tour of the Halyard. So everybody can, if they haven't been. But yeah, I just wanted to mention the brunch before we head to the Uncommon Artist Residency. So this is my kind of like favorite aspect. So Soundview has the Uncommon Art Residency. They started it about 6 years ago. I was actually one of the artists in 2018 or 2019. I can't remember the exact time, but it's a fantastic residency. It's a week long. You stay a week long in the winter, so January, February. You're here on property. You're invited to kind of work throughout the property. Like if you're a musician, maybe play the piano in the piano bar. If you're a dancer, maybe use the Halyard as a space. Like there was a photographer that made a pseudo dark room out of our like little gathering room. You know, we've also had videographers. So right now we're taking applications for the residency for this winter. And any artist, local, not local, New York City, like California, this is a really great opportunity. We also have a sister property in Jackson Hole called the Anvil Hotel, and they run a parallel artist residency. So although the application process is through two different people, it's like a great, if you do this one, maybe try to get into the next one, the one in Jackson Hole. It's really fantastic.
And do the guests there, like, are they invited to come watch you work or?
So we don't like to dictate the artists or tell them what to do. The only thing we ask them is that they create one community initiative, right? So like when I did like a drink and draw in the piano bar, but there's people who have had, you know, interactive like dances or shows or talks, all different types of things. So yeah, that's the only requirement we have of the artist.
And are the artists listed already for, because you said you're taking applications now?
We're taking applications now, so they're not listed. So once they're confirmed, an application process is closed, then I'll post all the artists.
Amazing.
Sounds so fun. Sounds so fun. I think I've seen, maybe it was 2 or 3 years ago, I think there was a photographer that took really beautiful pictures while they were there for the week. I think it's so cool to let your creative juices flow in such a
the water photographer,
creative environment.
The one who took photos
Like
all in the water.
I think so. I followed it a few years, so there's a couple of different ones. I feel like I want to say this was a Japanese artist, but I could be blending more than one thing going on there.
Are between the Soundview property and our Harborfront Inn property, which is right in the heart of Greenport. So in 1 year, you have 8 artists. We've been doing it for 6 years. So there's like a very big roster of artists that have come through Soundview.
That's amazing. You know, and that really speaks to the sound view, despite the fact that it was kind of taken over by, we'll call it an outside non-NOFO organization. It has really gone above and beyond to incorporate local North Fork artists and really put it out there to support the local North Fork community in any way that they can. And I know I've been a part of it. You know, people have reached out to me asking if I want to host classes there, and you know, so it's really, they've done an excellent job of doing that.
We are so open to collaboration. So also, if anybody's like watching or listening, if you have a great idea, let me know. Let me know.
Yes. I have some ideas, Kara. I have some ideas.
We'll get coffee.
Okay.
Well, there's so many, like you said, Kara, there's so many beautiful spaces there, you know, that can accommodate such a variety of things. I know Verona, who was on here earlier watching, does some of her beautiful watercolor. I guess it's pouring
like
paints.
Acrylic ink classes. Yeah, so all summer, Verona did acrylic ink classes, abstract art classes. She did like a special holiday ornament class. Also, another good friend of mine, Melissa Gabrielson from Plants and Clay, did make your own mug classes here. Melissa Hyatt also did a watercolor class here. So,
And I believe the Giving Room offers yoga classes poolside. In
we
case
have
you
a
didn't
great
know.
partnership with the Giving Room. They do yoga on the pool. Yeah.
That's amazing. I love it.
Lots to do in every season. I mean, even in the off season, you seem so busy. I can't even imagine if you're back in summer talking about what's going on at the beach bar and what's going on. You know,
you don't have time to do this with us.
We're running around like crazy in summer.
Yes. Well, it's such a beautiful. Personally, when I'm driving out to the East End and going to Greenport, I always love to take Sound Avenue just to pass by, because it's just such a beautiful spot. Even if you're not getting to stop by, it's just, you know, it's just such a beautiful spot on the island.
I'm cracking up because our co-host Kelly, that's not here today, once she posted this beautiful sunset photo from the Sound View, and I messaged her. I said, "Wow, I'm glad you showed up there on such a good day." And she's like, "Girl, I was driving past and I had to pull over. Like, I didn't even go in. I just took the photo and kept going." So I'm sure people pull up there just to catch
definitely.
the view.
And even before I've been working with Soundview, like this has been my go-to spot for sunset.
Yeah,
for years.
Oh, so maybe that's a transition, and right away we can get into the answer of the questions, the same 5 different perspectives. What is your favorite place to catch a sunset?
Yeah, it's definitely, the sunsets here are amazing.
I feel like it's going to be hard for these two to answer the questions. If I say, where would you take us out to lunch? I think we know the answer.
Well, it depends, you know, like we only have lunch service in the off season on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
So a lot of other days of the week, we have to have lunch.
Yes.
What I would say right now is go to Wednesday's table. Because
I know.
I mean, there's only the countdown for Christmas. Forget that. It's like a countdown for Wednesday's table. I believe New Year's Eve is the last time you get a banh mi there or any food.
I was joking last night that I was going to go there every day that she's open and start like freezing them in my freezer.
No, I mean, there's so many great places to get lunch, like in Greenport, First and South, in Mattituck, Loveland Kitchen, like Bruce and Son, yeah.
Oh yeah,
I think
great brunch.
It's like brunch, you know, like breakfast spot.
That's my brunch spot too. I love it. It's the best.
Like
now I know the Halyard has a lot of partnerships with local farms. I see KK's often posts about the delivery that they're making to you guys, but are there other farm stands that you two personally go to want to share about?
A lot also, like not just KK's, like Deep Roots Farm, Wesnofsky, Wickham's, like, I mean, so many. I personally also have a CSA with Sang Lee, which is, I mean, I love like Lucy and Will and like that whole crew. But I try to frequent as many as I can, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the perks of living out here is the access to all the different farms. And depending on, you know, what we're looking for, you know, my girlfriend and I will either find ourselves at St. Lee's, Wickham's, you know,
Iris.
I spent a lot of time going to Wickham's when I was younger, but their sugar donuts, the cinnamon sugar donuts are,
Apple cider.
I don't know if that's considered a farm item, but
Apple cider. That's a whole.
I wonder that sometimes when I pull up there, I'm like, can I just buy the donuts? Does it still count as a farm stand stop? I say yes. But Kara, something you said, I think this is exactly the reason why we asked this question, because we would also like to try as many as possible. It's really not about which is your favorite farm stand, but I think every time we ask this question, we learn more and more about, oh, I love the tomatoes from here, and I love the corn from here. And it's great because there's such a variety you can pick from.
We're looking for an intern who would like to go back through every single episode we've ever had and make a list of all the farm stands, because I certainly don't have the time to do that. So, anyone wants to apply?
We need an intern for lots of things.
So funny.
I love it. I love it. We're going to throw it out there. While you're filling an application for Soundview, let us know if you want to fill an application for NOFO Live, and maybe we'll send you to capture some sunsets there.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
So are there, I'm sure you guys partner with wineries, local wineries. Are there wineries that you guys partner with?
Yeah, we've done a lot of wine dinners in the past. I know that's something that we're gonna pursue in the future and for the winter and whatnot. We actually have a great partnership with Macari. We have the Halyard.
yeah, the Halyard and Macari Sunset, imagine that,
Really?
red blend.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wait, I need to be all over that. Hello? I'm like, you said the magic word, sunset.
So it's a whole,
Oh.
it's very,
Closing loops. We like that. And
Connection.
Connecting these data points. And so we have, we do a lot of work with Macari. We are, big fans, and even on a personal level, big fans of, the team
Good
there,
friends.
what they do, their kind of commitment to regenerative agriculture and really being on the forefront of that out here. We like McCall wines. McCall makes, Russ McCall makes some fantastic wines.
there's so many.
Bedell, there's so many
Sparkling
amazing wineries
wine.
out here. And within the past, 5 years, there's been kind of just a huge, I don't know the word, but just a huge, I guess, cognizance of the farming practices. And I think that's made a huge difference for the community, but also for the wines, right? The juice that the fruit is yielding is fantastic.
And I think it's something great about the North Fork wine/vineyards is, yes, it's about the wine, but it's also about the back story of how the grapes are grown and the care and the attention that paid to the environment. Gabriella Macari and her team are great. She's actually on the Slow Food East End board with me, and we've had a lot of conversations about how climate change is affecting the France region and the European region, and how it may eventually also impact the Long Island growing climate, and get a little step ahead of that and see what can be done here. So I love all those conversations around
that's
the wine
a big
making
thing for
process.
us. And like our list, really focuses on producers who are, practicing sustainable, practicing organic, biodynamic.
We should also probably mention Matchbook Distilling. So they're technically not a winery, right?
But we do a lot of work with them. We love them.
Yeah, they're great. We have a custom gin.
Oh, wow.
The Halyard.
They made a Halyard gin for us. They made a Halyard spiced rum, and most recently a Halyard vodka.
Oh, wow.
And we go and do kind of gin tastings. It's something that hotel guests can do and book through the distillery.
You can even book, if you're staying with us, we have a special percentage off for our guests to make your own gin or do a tasting at the distillery. It's a pretty great experience. So if anyone's watching that's staying at the Soundview, be sure to yes. It's also an add-on when you're checking out.
That's awesome. Well, Tracy, when you and I started the show, we were thinking, what are we going to talk about for 30 minutes? But I feel like we could talk for an hour with you guys. Maybe we need a round two because there's so much more we can still, learn and get information on what all you guys do.
Mishi, you mentioned that you went to Wickham's to get cider donuts when you were a kid. So you were born here? You're a local?
So I was born in Romania, but grew up in the city. But I've been coming out here for the past 20-something years.
Summer kid. Sorry.
I've heard the term city be used before.
Yes, yes, I've been called one too. Yes.
But I think it's great. But we're very familiar with it. My parents, live full time in New Suffolk, and have a community of family and friends in the area. And then a couple of years ago, moved out here full time. Now permanent residents of Cutchogue. I had the kind of good fortune of working for Mike, Mary Mraz, Gerard Hayden, Claudia Fleming, at the table back in the day. And that was a huge point in my life for hospitality, because that really is what kind of lit the fire for this is what I want to do.
And you've worked at a bunch of other places, right, in the city?
Yeah. And then got to work with them, and then went back to the city, and then worked at a bunch of places, and then came out here.
What places?
A bunch of places.
Let's tell
most recently, a very well-known French restaurant, La Bernardin.
Oh.
And worked with.
Just a bunch of places, just here and there.
Throw him off a little.
Got to work with amazing people, and then came out here and reached out to our former executive chef, Stefan Bogardis, who I had worked with at the North Fork table, and reached out to him because we had stayed, really good friends over the years. And he told me about what he was doing and where he was working, and then a week or two later, I joined the team and have been here ever since.
That's amazing.
Like the 3 degrees of separation on the North Fork. I mean, before I moved here, I was a little worried that I didn't know anybody, and somebody that I met said to me, "Don't worry about it. Just move, and before you know it, you'll know everybody." And I was like, "Really? I feel like I'm getting there."
You say that, Sunita, because last night I went out for the first time in a very long time, for good reason, and we went to the More Good party. Kara was there, and I was like, "Oh, I know that person, and that person, and that person, and that person." And it just felt my heart felt so full that I was like, all my friends are here. And it's so great. Yeah, it was really great.
If anyone doesn't know what the More Good Project is, it's run by Mary Latham, who's a local. She's an amazing human being. Her mother passed away, and she started this road trip journey to go to every single state and collect a good story. So she has created now a nonprofit. Last night she had an event at First and South to raise money for Dylan and Cindy, 2 locals who have recently passed. And it was just such a great gathering of people.
It was.
You had to give
it was really
a little shout out.
Yes. Yep. And I think the silent auction is still live, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Still live.
So I put a link in my stories, but we can put another one up on NOFO Live for people to go bid. There's silent auction associated with the fundraising that's still live.
Before we get off, I want to show Halyard.
I don't think we're ever getting to the wrap up. I feel like the show is never ending. Which
my phone also just did like the 10% battery thing, so in case I get cut off, just know. Oh, where are we going? Oh. Whoa.
Oh, yay.
Ooh.
So usually we have like the awning, but because of winter and like the storm, so that's off right now. But
and there's a door to walk out there and take pictures.
Yeah,
off
all in the summer
that,
we have, seating out. It's first come, first serve, just because we can't, argue with people. But windows.
feel like the way they did the renovation,
Yes.
it almost feels like you're on the
Well,
inside of a
so
ship
this,
looking
the whole,
out.
this
There's
is all
this
original.
whole vibe
Like they
of-
didn't change. I mean, they painted, like redid the floors, right? But like this, you know, the structure is the same. It was just brown.
Right. Right. Same like my house. My whole house was
Yeah.
brown.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
a little.
we at the NOFO Live need to make a decision that we go on location more often. I mean, I was planning to go today,
Yeah.
but the weather really didn't cooperate. But just looking at it, thinking,
Yeah,
oh my God,
so-
we need to do lives from location.
The deck, right? So that is where the New Year's Eve party will be, and Christmas
Okay.
Eve dinner. Hi.
You filming me?
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah,
Well,
our little cozy.
I love
So
spot.
it. Thank you so much for giving us a tour,
I mean,
Kara,
like
and
can't you, even if you're having a bad day, like this is just
yes, stunning, magical.
yeah,
Magical.
magical.
Yeah.
That's the word.
Sure.
That's the
Yeah.
word.
Okay, I'm flipping back to me.
Well, thank you, Kara and Mishi, for joining us. And thank you so much for giving us a tour because it really made us feel like we were there physically. It's beautiful. You guys have so much great stuff going on. We'll put some links up and share about the Christmas Eve dinner and the New Year's Eve party. And hopefully we will be there soon in person to catch a great sunset, orange sunset, all kinds of sunset.
Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Merry Christmas,
guys.
Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah.